Greece, you know, that beautiful country in southern Europe with all the stunning landscapes and ancient ruins? Well, it turns out that it's not just a fantastic travel destination, it's also the birthplace of some pretty amazing stuff. From way back in the day to the present, Greeks have come up with some ingenious ideas and inventions that have had a big impact on the world. So, get ready to take a journey through time and explore all the cool things that came to life in Greece, and discover how these inventions have shaped our lives in ways you might not have imagined. 1. Alarm clock. Alarm clocks, devices designed to wake individuals at predetermined times, have a long and fascinating history. The ancient Greeks were pioneers in various fields, including mathematics, astronomy, and mechanics. Their understanding of time and the development of sundials and water clocks, known as clepsydra, were significant advancements that ultimately paved the way for the creation of alarm clocks. Sundials, in particular, were essential tools for timekeeping in ancient Greece. These devices used the movement of the sun's shadow to mark the passage of time throughout the day. While they couldn't wake people at specific times, they served as an early means of measuring time, allowing people to organize their daily activities more efficiently. The clepsydra, a water clock, was another significant invention of ancient Greece. These clocks used the steady flow of water to measure time intervals. Clepsydra clocks were used for a variety of purposes, such as measuring time in legal proceedings and speeches, but they also had potential as an early form of alarm clock when combined with other mechanisms. 2. Cheesecake. The origins of cheesecake can be traced back to ancient Greece, where it was known as plakis. Ancient Greek cheesecake was a simpler affair, primarily composed of cheese, honey, and wheat, creating a sweet and satisfying delicacy. The fundamental ingredient in this early version of cheesecake was cheese, often made from a combination of goat's milk and sheep's milk. The Greeks were skilled cheesemakers, and they created a variety of soft and crumbly cheeses that formed the base of their sweet plakis. Notably, the Greek writer Athenaeus mentioned cheesecake in his work, Dipnosophisti, a multi-volume celebration of food and dining. This early cheesecake, both nutritious and delicious, was a favorite among athletes and warriors. Over time, the recipe for cheesecake evolved as it spread across the Mediterranean and into the Roman Empire. The Romans, influenced by the Greeks, adapted and modified the recipe to suit their own tastes. They introduced the use of eggs, which served to create a lighter and more cake-like texture, a precursor to the cheesecake we know today. 3. World's first analog computer. The Antikythera Mechanism is an ancient Greek analog computer or mechanical device that was discovered in 1901, in the Antikythera shipwreck off the coast of the Greek island of Antikythera. The mechanism is believed to have been constructed around 100 to 150 BC, and it is often described as the world's first analog computer because of its ability to predict astronomical positions and eclipses. The device is incredibly complex, with a system of gears and dials that could be used to track the positions of celestial bodies, such as the sun and the moon, as well as predict eclipses and other astronomical events. The Antikythera mechanism's purpose and use were not fully understood until modern imaging and research techniques were applied to it in the 21st century. It is currently on display at the National Archaeological Museum in Athens, Greece. 4. The word idiot. The word idiot has an interesting etymological history that indeed traces back to ancient Greece. In Greek, the word idiotes was used to refer to a person who was not actively engaged in public life, particularly in the realm of politics. The concept of public participation and civic engagement held a central place in ancient Greek society. Athenians, in particular, took great pride in their democracy, where citizens had the right and responsibility to participate in the decision-making process. Those who chose to remain uninvolved in civic affairs were considered to be idiotes. The term didn't carry the derogatory or offensive connotation that it does today. Instead, it simply referred to someone who was uninterested or apathetic when it came to matters of public importance. In essence, it described individuals who prioritized their private lives and concerns over participating in the affairs of the city-state. 5. Shower. The concept of taking a shower, or bathing under a continuous flow of water, has a long and fascinating history that can be traced back to ancient Greece. Public baths, known as balneae, were a common feature in Greek cities, and they served as important social spaces, where people gathered not only to cleanse their bodies but also to engage in discussions and forge connections. One of the key innovations that can be linked to the ancient Greeks was the use of aqueducts and complex plumbing systems to bring water into cities and distribute it for various purposes, including bathing. The city of Athens, for example, had a sophisticated water supply system that delivered water to public fountains, baths, and even private residences. The actual invention of the showerhead, as we know it today, may not have originated in ancient Greece, but their advancements in plumbing and water supply systems certainly laid the groundwork for its development. 6. Coins. The concept of using metal as a medium of exchange had been around for centuries before the emergence of coins. Early forms of currency included commodities like livestock, grains, and other goods. However, these forms had limitations in terms of divisibility, portability, and durability. The Greek innovation of coins addressed these issues and provided a more efficient and standardized means of conducting trade. The first known Greek coins were made of electrum, a naturally occurring alloy of gold and silver. Coins were also highly portable, making them ideal for trade and travel. They could be carried in pouches or pockets, facilitating commerce across various regions and allowing merchants and traders to engage in transactions more efficiently. Greek city-states began producing their own coinage, each with unique designs and denominations. These coins often bore images of rulers, gods, and symbols representing the city-state's identity. 7. The concept of Eureka. The concept of Eureka finds its origins in ancient Greece, particularly with the Greek mathematician and scientist Archimedes. This word, meaning, "I have found it," in Greek, is associated with the exhilarating moment of sudden insight and discovery. One of the most famous examples of this concept is the story of Archimedes shouting, "Eureka!" when he realized how to determine the purity of a gold crown by measuring its volume. This story has become emblematic of the joy and satisfaction that accompanies significant breakthroughs and realizations in various fields, transcending its historical origins. 8. Library. Libraries have a rich and storied history, and their origins can be traced back to ancient Greece, where the concept of collecting and preserving written knowledge first took root. The earliest known library in ancient Greece was the Library of Alexandria, established in the 3rd century BCE in the Egyptian city of Alexandria, which was founded by Alexander the Great. Although this library was not located within the borders of Greece itself, it was closely associated with Greek culture and became a beacon of intellectual achievement in the Hellenistic world. Aristotle, one of the most influential Greek philosophers, played a crucial role in the history of libraries. He is often considered the father of library science because of his systematic organization of scrolls and his emphasis on classifying and categorizing knowledge. His personal collection formed the basis for the Library of Alexandria, and influenced the development of library practices for centuries to come. 9. The first alphabet with vowels. Vowels are an essential component of language, and they play a crucial role in speech and communication. The concept of vowels as we understand them today, has its origins in ancient Greece, where the foundations of phonetics and linguistics were laid. In ancient Greece, scholars and philosophers such as Plato and Aristotle, made significant contributions to the study of language and its elements. The term, vowel, itself is derived from the Latin word, vocalus, which means sounding, or speaking, and Latin was strongly influenced by Greek in this regard. The Greeks classified vowels based on the quality of their sounds, which included characteristics like the height of the tongue, the part of the mouth involved in their production, and whether the vocal cords were vibrating. This classification formed the basis for the study of phonetics, which is the branch of linguistics that deals with the physical properties of speech sounds. 10. Chewing gum. Chewing gum, a popular and ubiquitous confection in today's world, can trace its origins back to ancient Greece, where the practice of chewing gum-like substances was first documented. While the concept of gum chewing has evolved significantly over the centuries, it all began with the ancient Greeks and their use of a natural resin called mastic gum. Mastic gum, also known as mastia, is a resin obtained from the mastic tree, Pistacia lentiscus. The word mastic is derived from the Greek word mastia, which means to chew. People would chew on mastic gum to cleanse their teeth and maintain fresh breath. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe.